So we've spent most of the offseason talking about these undrafted free agents. We've been talking about rookies, and I don't want to talk about a rookie today. I want to talk about somebody who has been on this team for a little while, a couple years at least, and I think he is someone who might be being overlooked by both an older and younger player that he slots right in the middle of, and I think we're forgetting the kind of talent and hope we had for him. And I'm just wondering if he is the future at our linebacker position, even more so than a guy like Alex Anzalone. So let's have a conversation first and foremost about Derek Barnes. All right. There is an article out there by the Sideline Report. Lions may tap into versatility as Derek Barnes entered into the NFL with. All right. So when they're going with this, I think let's just, before we get into that, let's just talk about who Derek Barnes is. If you'll remember, he was a guy who was drafted out of Purdue. One of the things he did at Purdue was he was an edge rusher and then late transitioned into a linebacker. He was coming off the edge for 2 years. In fact, that time off the edge kind of helped him do some things. In 2018 and 2019, he had 10.5 sacks and 19 tackles for loss. Then he transitioned to playing off the ball. All right, but that doesn't mean he's done being good on the edge. I never thought he was tremendous on the edge, but he was pretty good. But then he went back to off the ball. So if all you're going to do is play a year or two off the ball before going into the NFL, there is going to be a learning curve. And we absolutely saw that with Barnes. Like, we saw that learning curve. All right. In fact, in 3 years here in Detroit, in year one, he wasn't good. He had 448 total snaps that he played. All right. Only 18 of them did he actually rush the passer and 167 in coverage. His coverage grade was a 27.6, according to PFF. That's not good. All right. His run defense was a 53.8, and his defense overall grade was a 30. The thing he did best, tackle and rush the passer. All right, 65.3 at rushing the passer, 68.3 tackling. Then next year, he brought up that coverage grade significantly. Still not great. He went from a 27.6 up to a 46.8, and his overall grade went to a 62.3. The most impressive improvement was in run defense, up to a 76. Then last year, playing double the snaps of his second year, 704 total. He played 346 defensive snaps in 2022. Last year, 704. It was his most even across the board. His coverage was his best grade yet at 54. Was even better. Remember against the Bucks? Come on, you know you do. All right. It was a coverage grade of 54. His pass rush was his worst ever at 59. His tackling was right in between. His run defense was right in between at 69. And his overall defensive grade was still at that 62. It seemed like the game had started slowing down for him. Now he's rolling into a contract year. So here's what my thought process is for Barnes. Sure, he can play middle linebacker. Sure, he can play weak side linebacker. Sure, he can play strong side linebacker and playing that outside linebacker, but also the strong side being able to line up on the line, use that versatility is really, really good. Let's look at our depth chart here. All right, you have Jack Campbell, you have Alex Anzalone, and you have Derek Barnes on your starting line. All right, these are good backup linebackers. Reeves Maben, Malcolm Rodrigo got married. Congratulations, man. All right, Ben Nyman, all good backup linebackers, but none of them are going to press for a starting spot. The thing is, the Lions run a lot of two linebacker sets. So what are we going to look at when it comes to his playing time? And we see Jack Campbell kind of skyrocketing up. Everybody's feeling real good about Campbell and what that looks like. All right, but what about Anzalone? All right, I think Anzalone plays a lot this year, but then let's look at his contract for next year. All right, let's just take a look. All right, this year he's got a base salary of $6 million. All All right, that's what we're looking at. And next year, he has that same base salary, but there's a potential out. All right, $2.4 million in dead cap. Right here, it says it right here, $2.4 million in dead cap, and unfortunately, it's not working the way it should on Spotrac right now. But we would get out, we'd save $4 million, and then we could put that money toward, you guessed it, Derek Barnes. So the hope is that he can be a productive player this year for us, that he can be one of a trio of linebackers with Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone that plays well, and then we're able to keep him for the future going forward. And if you want to keep Anzalone for another year, do it. But Alex Anzalone is no spring chicken, all right? He's 29.8 years old, all right? He will turn 30 very early in the season. He had a good year last year. By all accounts, it was his best year as a pro. In fact, the only other year that compares to last year in his productivity is 2018. It was definitely his best year as a Detroit Lion. In year one in 2021, a 35.4. Aaron Glenn learned how to use him a little bit more in 2022 with a 59.2 PFF rating, and then up to a 68.1 last year. This isn't a guy who it's just like, oh, he's unbelievable, right? But he played well, and he's a good leader for this team and a guy that the other players and the coaches trust. Can Derek Barnes get to that level of trust? Can he get to that level that Alex Anzalone is at so that it makes Anzalone expendable? Every year it seems like Alex Anzalone is like, bye, Detroit. It was good seeing you. This is the first year he wasn't like that. After 2021, he felt that way. After 2022, he felt that way. After 2023, but then after 2022, we give him a 3-year contract. So I think it'll start to feel that way again. Here's what I'm saying. Don't sleep on Derek Barnes. He is a guy that when he is playing the way he should be playing, when he has his head on right, when he reads the play and reacts well, he has remarkable athleticism. The thing that hurts him overall more than anything, all right, is his height, which I get it. Like, it's hard to see over linemen and stuff like that. That's not good. But if he can read, and then his straight line speed for a linebacker is about as good as anybody in the league. He is shockingly fast. He's shockingly athletic. His explosion is phenomenal. These are things that make for a good linebacker, and that is exactly what he has the opportunity to be. He started playing better last year. I think we all can agree to that. And he is missed when he's not out there. I think Jack Campbell becomes a better linebacker than Derek Barnes this year, but that doesn't mean that Derek Barnes isn't worth keeping on this team long term. You just let me know what your thoughts are. All right. Do you think he'll play a massive role? When you look at his snap totals from last year, Alex Anzalone played almost every single snap. He was over 1,000 snaps when he wasn't hurt. Derek Barnes played 700. Do you believe that he will get more or less snaps than he did last year because of the emergence of Jack Campbell? I don't know. I think he'll get less, but don't sleep on this guy. He could be the future. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.